Alright, today we are going to be doing the transmission mount, which is underneath the center here. These are the tools that you will need. Pretty basic 19mm wrench, 12mm socket, 19mm socket and socket wrench, and in my case I'm going to be using a breaker bar as well with an extension, and the extension will probably come into play when using the socket wrench and the 19mm socket as well, but 12mm socket is going to be removing this panel first, so let's do that. And from the other side here you can see the transmission mount up there. It is right there. There's a better look for you. And it has four 12mm bolts on the bottom holding it to the transmission itself, and then one 19mm bolt up top, which you need to have something on the bolt side and on the nut side. So if you have two people you can do that, or you can wedge the 19mm wrench in there just to hold it in place while you're removing the nut on this side. But anyway, let's remove that access panel. Alright, so now I have the stock bottle jack underneath the transfer case here, and because the van is lifted, it actually fits. From what I've seen, stock ride height Hiaces are too low for it to fit underneath the transfer case. So if you're at a stock ride height, you probably need a lower profile floor jack. But in my case, I can use the factory bottle jack to get underneath the transfer case and take some strain off of it, so I can now get to the transmission mount. So I'm going to go ahead and unbolt the 12mm, and actually I'm going to undo the 19mm first. And one of the benefits to using this factory bottle jack is you have fine adjustments, and if you look, you can actually see when the bolt is at its loosest point, and you should be able to just pull it out for the most part. Maybe tap it from the back side a little bit with a rubber mallet or something, but you won't have to wail on this thing just to get this nut out. In fact, there you go. I can just pull it out by hand versus getting the proper tension on this transfer case with another type of jack might be difficult. But yeah, as you can see, I got this bottle jack set up perfectly, so I can literally just pull this bolt out. I'm not going to just yet. I'm going to let it stay supported, but I am going to unbolt this plate, so the four 12mm bolts that hold it to the transmission. Alright, here's the new mount that's going in. Here's the old mount. You can't tell really, but it is cracked and definitely has some play in it. And this lower section right here should actually be a tighter gap, like that. So that'll be a huge help. Let's put it in. And then when you finally jack the new motor mount up into place, you just line up the hole, and you should be able to slide the bolt in pretty easily, like that. pretty minimal effort. And then we just have the washer and nut to put on the other side. And at this point, this is where it's helpful to put the 19mm wrench on the other side to hold it in place. Okay, it's on there, so I can at least thread the nut on. Here we go. Now I'll just snug it up with the socket wrench and then torque it down afterward. Alright, so when you're torquing, you're going to want to do 19 foot-pounds for the 4 12mm bolts holding it to the transmission. And then for the top bolt on the other side, as you can see, I have a 19mm socket or wrench wedged in here with a piece of wood to hold it in place. So tightening the other side, this doesn't move, and you're going to want to torque the top nut on the other side to 74 foot-pounds. Okay, so 19 foot-pounds, 74 foot-pounds for the top. All right, and next time, or one of the next times, I'm going to put this fake wood grain dash face in, as well as the section that goes around the key on the right hand side. So that'll be cool. And then I'm loving these carpets that I picked up from the parts van that these pieces came from as well. And then, oh yeah, I actually didn't take video of it, but I also installed a new door panel piece, which you can see it a little bit better now. This piece, obviously, I mean, might be hard to tell, but this velour is kind of like a faded gray brown, or at least I believe it used to be a brown. This one is like a tan. You can tell it's out of a newer vehicle that was a little bit better kept probably. And I ended up swapping out the door handle as well. The one that was in this van was gray. I swapped it out with brown because it has a bunch of brown accents in here already anyway. And then I also didn't have this little door handle piece, but now I actually have this little piece that helps you close the door from the open position. So that's fun. But I got that from that same donor van as this dash piece, that dash piece, this carpet, and then also in one of the future videos where I do this dash, I'm going to work on this side mirror. It has a little play in it. The mechanism in it that auto retracts is broken as well, so I'm going to see if I can fix that. And I'm assuming the gears or the teeth in here are either worn off or not aligned properly. And if they are broken, I'm going to see if I can 3D print a gear that I need to replace that, and then the auto retracting mirrors will work. Passenger side works, driver side does not. But if I can 3D print what I need, then that'll fix that. And then I'm also planning on getting some curtain hooks 3D printed as well for the curtains inside. ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for watching. I will catch you in the next video, and until then, have a good one. Bye.